Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Salenti, and it's Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. And we have with us a man of men, nobody like him in America that I know of. And if you could show me, you let me know. A man that abides, knows, reports on, and teaches the Constitution and the Bill of Rights of America that have been stolen from us in front of everybody's eyes. And if you don't believe it, they'll kill you for any reason they want, regardless of the Constitution or human morality. Judge Adrian Napolitano is with us, and he has an article coming out tomorrow that's very, very important. Taking the Constitution seriously. Judge, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Gerald. Always a pleasure. Thank you for the generous introduction.
Well, it's not generous. It's a fact. It's just what's going on now. The Constitution's being robbed from us right in front of our eyes. What Bill of Rights? There's no bill at all, and we have no rights. I'm the politician. We the people go to hell. You listen to me. I'm not a public servant. You're a servant of a plant. You're a plantation worker of Slavelandia. No more public servants. We're in charge. This article that you have coming out should have everybody in America so angry about what's going on and where we're going, but nobody's talking about it. Very few, I should say. It goes on to say, last week, the President of the United States did not take the Constitution seriously. He ordered the murder of 11 people who were riding in a speedboat in the Caribbean Sea around 1,300 miles from the United States. Oh, let's not call it the Caribbean Sea. Let's change the name, Judge. Let's call it the American Sea, okay? We're renaming the Gulf of Mexico. It's the Gulf of America. We might as well, don't call it the Caribbean Sea. Tell us what's going on here.
Well, he claimed that this boat was on its way to the United States and that it was carrying fentanyl. And then he claimed that the people in the boat were members of a gang known as Tren de Aragua. Of course, the Justice Department has said that Tren de Aragua does not deal in drugs. They deal in human smuggling. So maybe the people on the boat were people who had paid this gang to deliver them from one place to another, or maybe they were there involuntarily. Whoever they were blown up, and whatever evidence was there was destroyed. The president decided that these people were criminals, and the evidence was so overwhelming they weren't entitled to a jury trial. And even if they did what the president said they did, even though the penalty for drug smuggling is not death, he decided to execute them, and he can do it because this is the moral equivalent of war, and he's the commander-in-chief. I mean, these arguments are constitutionally ignorant, morally repellent, and legally erroneous if he thinks that he can kill people before they commit a crime just on the basis of whatever evidence comes to him. That's really what it comes down to. The article goes into historical examples of other presidents doing similarly, and how this doesn't result in an enhancement of liberty or even public safety. It results in an enhancement of fear that American presidents can do this. He's not the first American president to kill innocent people, and regrettably, he probably won't be the last. Are they innocent? Yes, legally, they are innocent. They haven't even been charged with a crime. They hadn't even been charged with a crime at the time of their murder, much less prosecuted and convicted. This is very, very dangerous times if the president thinks he can do it and get away with it. He's had 2 weeks to come up with a legal argument. He hasn't been able to come up with one.
You write in this article, and it's, again, everybody should understand this. Again, this little speedboat was 1,300 miles from the United States, right?
Yes.
There's no way that thing could have got to the United States.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Everybody now knows that. When Hegseth was asked about it, he said, ask Rubio. When Rubio said he was asked about it, he said, ask Trump. When Trump was asked about it, he goes, I'm the president. I can do whatever I want.
I'm the dictator. I'm an arrogant little slob that's in control of your life like the ones before me. Again, look at the murderers. You mentioned them. Obama, the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner, quoted in the book Double Down, I'm really good at killing people. How about Bill Clinton? Every time he got caught with his pants down, bombs away over Baghdad. How about the Bushes? Mass murderers in front of everybody's eyes. One after another. This is America. They're murderers. It's not about the Constitution. It's about murder in the first degree.
And he is being lauded by the conservative Republicans. Congress is totally silent on this. I mean, can they envision a President Gavin Newsom deciding that pro-life demonstrators are terrorists and they can be executed? I mean, where will this end? This idea that the president can execute people before they've been convicted of a crime. This is about as dangerous as it gets.
Again, but you got to look at the whole thing. As I said, the politicians are in charge of our lives. Listen, put on this mask, all right? This mask, COVID's out there. And you read the comment on the box. It says, these masks do not eliminate exposure to the risk of any disease or infection. I don't care. You put it on, I'm the politician, I'll tell you what to do. Get back in your house. You're not allowed to go outside. Get out of the beach. You're not allowed to go swimming. COVID's out there. I'm telling you, Judge, it's not only this, from the cities to the states to the federal government, they're robbing us of our freedom day after day, week after week. This isn't America that our founding fathers, you write all these articles in here, you quote Jefferson and others in here about our freedom and how it's been taken away from us. And nobody could care less about this. Madison's words in the Constitution, Fifth Amendment, declare, quote, that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law.
I heard Sebastian Gorka, that great defender of personal freedom on the network that employs me, saying, well, foreigners don't have the rights that Americans do. Read the document. It says persons. It doesn't say no American. It says no person. It applies to every human being, and the Supreme Court says wherever the government goes, the Constitution goes with it.
Yep. This is serious stuff, that when they say that they could kill anybody that they want. Yep. And again, you right here, but chaining the government down requires taking the Constitution seriously. And that requires those in whose hands we have reposed the Constitution for safekeeping to keep reading it and understand it and comply with it. And to comply with it, their oaths to preserve, protect, and defend it. Do we have these folks in power today? The answer is obvious. We don't.
It's a sad answer. And as you've been saying for many years, it doesn't matter which party is in power. It doesn't matter which party controls the Congress or from which party the president springs. They're all the same. It's the uniparty. It's politicians. It's them versus us. And it seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. Far worse than when you and I were kids and the president was a guy named Eisenhower.
No, it's very sad. It's heartbreaking, actually. Again, that this murder in front of everybody's eyes was committed. And they brag about it. The little Rubio boy, a little gutless clown of nothing, bragging about this, the death of these people.
By the way, Rubio announced over the weekend that the State Department is going to begin scrutinizing you can't make this up, the social media of people in Latin America who apply for visas to the United States to see if they're really Chinese spies. Like I said, this is crazy. A guy and his wife want to come here for vacation to visit the United States, and they're going to scrutinize it from Colombia, and they're going to scrutinize his social media to see if he works for Beijing.
You know, you're talking about the social media. We have an article in this week's Trends Journal. Israel's $45 million deal with Google helped Tel Aviv spread propaganda about Gaza. Do you know about that?
No.
Yep. Now, $45 million from the Israeli government to put propaganda out there about what's going on in Gaza, about how the people are not starving, they're not killing innocent people. Google paid to put up these ads and social mediaize all of the lies that Israel is saying.
Mm.
So when you're talking about what Rubio's doing with social media, it's a crime syndicate. Look what just happened, last week? All the big tech guys are over there in the White House, sucking up to Trump in front of everybody's eyes.
I don't know how this ends, Gerald. There's only a few of us that warn about it persistently, as you and I do, but the mainstream media overwhelms people like the crazy lady you ran into the other day and in front of your building, who believed what she had just heard on the news. The Russians are bombing Poland. I mean, this is just crazy.
Yep.
Crazy.
Again, an article just came out in The Guardian about the clown boy that's running, he's from the UK, that's running the Washington Post, about how he's been advising Boris Johnson, the former prime minister of the UK. Boris Johnson, that little clown that the best cartoonist in the world couldn't come up with a freakier little boy than him. This is the jerk. Look at this guy.
This is the guy that talked Zelensky out of the peace deal that his negotiators and the Russians had agreed to, and in favor of war. Don't worry, the UK and the US will have your back.
That's right. Yep. That was and on the genocide Joe Biden that stole how many hundreds of billions of dollars of our money to keep that war going?
Oh, it's about 265 billion at this point.
Yep. But don't worry. Hey, you elect me for president, I'm going to end that war in 24 hours, all right? Hey, now that I'm president, once I get into office, before I get into office, that war is going to be over. Remember that crap from...
I do.
Not the Kellogg boy, the little Kellogg Frosted Flakes, that little jerk over there. What's he, the envoy to end this? We're going to end that war in 100 days.
His theory is to put NATO troops in Ukraine. He's out of his mind. He doesn't understand basic history. That's what started all this, was NATO in Ukraine.
I got the article right here in the Trends Journal, 2014, written by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts. United States overthrow the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych in 2014 that people have no idea about. Judge, yesterday, Israel bombed Qatar. Where's the outrage?
There is no outrage. Where's the outrage in Qatar? Why did American radar defenses stand down when Israeli jets entered Qatari airspace? Well, because the U.S. was part of this. Wait a minute. Trump told reporters he didn't know anything about it. Well, if you didn't know anything about it, that's malfeasance in office. Of course he knew about it. Of course he knew what this was. And of course he gave Netanyahu the go-ahead. They don't care who they kill. They don't care what alliance they disturb. Netanyahu is a monster of the highest sort. So they bombed a residential neighborhood in the capital of Qatar. They didn't kill their intended targets, but they certainly killed the negotiations. Who would negotiate with the United States of America when it lures you into a trap like this?
And this is the first time they did it.
No. The same thing happened with Nasrallah, the then living leader of Hezbollah, and the same thing happened with Iran. Trump bombed Iran when the negotiators were on their way to the place of negotiation. This is a standard routine in the Trump administration, and it's obviously standard for the Israelis. They've been killing negotiators on the other side of the table for years.
This thing, again, and the Arab nations are doing nothing because they're all bought and sold out. All they care about is money, the bottom line.
Right.
So they're not doing anything to stop this because they, just like they did what they could have done, like they did in 1973 when they had that oil embargo, and because of the Israeli war. They're not doing that now because how much has the Trump family invested in all these countries? They only care about the bottom line, money. They don't care about the people because they could stop this immediately if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And I believe this thing is going to escalate. And I think they're going to be bombs away again over Iran. And Netanyahu, look, they're bombing Syria, the Israelis. They're bombing Lebanon. They're bombing whoever they want. And by the way, with our money, we're only giving them almost $4 billion a year, plus all the other bombs and weapons to keep killing these people. So everybody get to work so we can steal your money in the name of taxes so we could give it to the Israelis to keep the genocide going. And where's the outrage? None. Yep. And again, you look at what's going on. Now they want to steal more land in the West Bank. And this guy Smotrich is saying they're going to take it over, just like Gaza.
I don't know what can stop them if they have the backing of the President of the United States. However ill-advised he is, he has the power to stop them. But he's totally beholden to the Zionist lobby here and the Zionist billionaires that... I mean, he's a billionaire himself, but he took their money to fund his campaign.
Well, they got over $100 million from Sheldon Adelson back when Trump was president back in 2000, when he got elected in 2016. A couple of years later, he got $100 million from Sheldon Adelson. And what did he do? He moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
Right.
Oh, and that land, you stole from the Syrians over there in the Golan Heights, it's yours. And he got over $200 million from Marion Adelson, Sheldon Adelson's wife, in this last election.
Right.
So again, and then you got that clown Huckleberry, Huckle Jerk. He said, U.S. won't stop Israel's annexation of the West Bank.
I forget, is he the American ambassador to Israel, or is he the Israeli ambassador to the U.S.? If I listen to him, I sometimes get confused.
Oh, and here's the best part, Judge. They're evangelical Christians.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
this is the Ted Cruz crowd that told Tucker Carlson that God the Father 3,000 years ago told Moses that we all should support Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, this is some of the most fanciful, absurd statements you've ever heard.
Yep. And God never spoke to anybody before or after. He got lockjaw. You know that.
He only spoke to that crowd, and he had Netanyahu and this very piece of real estate in mind.
Yep. Again, there is no outrage about this, but we're doing everything we can. Please come to our peace rally on September 27th up here in Kingston, New York, on the Four Corners of Freedom. Judge Napolitano, Scott Ritter, Joe Lauria, Dennis Kucinich, live stream broadcast from Roger Waters and others. So we're doing everything we can in the name of peace, but we can't do it without you. And please come here. We got to make the news with this. We got to stop these wars, because if we don't, it's going to be hell on earth. The next war is going to be nuclear war. Who's that guy, Einstein? The cat that knew a little thing or two about the atomic bomb? He said, I don't know how the third world war will be fought, but the fourth will be fought with sticks and stones.
Right. Right.
And that's what they're leading us into.
He also refused the offer to become the first president of Israel. He said he thought the whole idea was obscene.
Yep. And he was right. They have no right to that land. They stole it. And again, as I said, don't call me an anti-Semite. As I said, 3 of my last 4 girlfriends were Jewish. And my best friends that passed on, I thank them every day. It was so good to me. So many Jewish people. It has nothing to do with that. And the people running Israel, they're all Eastern Europeans. Ashkenazis. Can't make it up. That's who they are. Judge, thanks for being here. Thank you for all you do. And everybody, if you want to get information that you're not going to get anywhere else, you want to go to Judging Freedom. Judge Napolitano has the people on there that nobody else has, that says what they say because of the truth and facts. Judge, who you got coming up?
We just did Phil Giraldi. Got up at the crack of dawn because of my crazy schedule. I had Pepe Escobar from Shanghai, China.
Wow.
Professor Jeff Sachs, Colonel Lawrence Wilkerson, Aaron Mate, and the great Professor John Mearsheimer. So a busy day coming up.
Judge, thanks for all you do. And everybody, again, go to Judging Freedom if you want the real freedom and truth. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Gerald. All the best, my dear friend.